Aloha and welcome to Maui TechOhana. Thank you so much for joining us.
We gathered together last in February, so we wanted to make sure that we didn't close the year without bringing this group together again.
For me, there's no better example of an entrepreneur who works with a deep sense of grace and gratitude. Doug Nelson.
Aloha, everyone. I'm an educator, an entrepreneur, a technology enthusiast. For the last 20 years, I've run an e-learning studio, Kinection, that designs and develops experiential online learning programs. And we use games and simulations and group activities to make online training a little bit less painful. I'm also fascinated by the process of creating new products and businesses. And I have a consulting practice focused on innovation and startup success. The title of my talk is We're All Startups Again. I'm going to introduce you to two specific practices from the startup world that you can use, no matter what stage your business is, to adapt and grow during these turbulent times. Here's a simplified diagram of 4 essential business components. Now, COVID comes in. What's the result? Our customers have changed, and we don't understand their new needs or expectations. Our products may have to change, as do the ways that we deliver them. And our teams and our work processes are up in the air. So we have a situation where the customer, the product, the channel, and the team are all uncertain. This uncertainty is what every startup faces as they work to define their product and their business model. So perhaps some techniques that startups use to navigate this uncertainty can be helpful for the rest of us. At the core of this methodology is this build, measure, learn cycle. Customer discovery sits on the market side of the equation and seeks to answer the question, what's the problem? Experiments sit on the product side and seek to answer the question, what is the solution? The goal is to understand the customer situation and the customer challenges before trying to define a solution to those problems. So here's an example of what I mean by up close and personal. Here, I'm sitting with the Afghan National Army soldiers who helped me understand the mistakes that our soldiers were routinely making in their country. And this direct discovery experience enabled us to create a training program that addressed the skills that our soldiers needed in a way that feels really authentic. Here are 3 things you want to learn in the conversation and how to ask for them. Now, here's the question that everyone wants to ask, but you shouldn't do it. If we had a whatever it is, would you buy it? But here's the problem. Your customer will lie. Not even intentionally, but humans are notoriously bad at predicting behavior. So don't ask this question. Instead, we'll set up an experiment to get at this point, and we'll talk about that next. We run experiments to help us evaluate what works and what doesn't for the customer problems that we've identified during customer discovery. But the basic concept is that we first build, typically something simple and fast. It might be a simple prototype. It could be a landing page. And then we put that in front of customers and watch what they do and don't do. And we measure those actions and get data. Then we look at that data to learn what worked and what didn't. You can really get into the weeds when discussing running good experiments. Don't worry about that for now. You can get a lot of value out of a simple business experiment. Come up with a hypothesis, decide your method, and define how you'll measure the results. Okay, so here are some cleverly named methods that you can use. I'm going to talk about the A/B test and the fake door experiments. I leave it up to you to look into the one-night stand and the picnic in the graveyard, which aren't necessarily used together, but I guess could be. Here are the top 3 reasons I hear not to run experiments. Second, I don't want my customers to think that I don't have everything figured out. This is important. Let's just accept the fact that right now, nobody has everything all figured out. And that's okay. Please don't let this hesitation stop you from innovating in your business. Chapter 5, final thoughts. What we're learning about startups and about success as a startup. And remember, we're all startups again. That success is closely correlated to how tightly the company can execute this process and how often they can iterate around this loop. So I want to encourage you not to look at this as a one-time COVID adjustment exercise. This can be an ongoing approach to continuous innovation for continuous improvement. There's lots more to learn here, but the two techniques that we discussed today, customer discovery and experimentation, are a good place to start. You can find me here on LinkedIn. Happily, you can find me here on Maui. I have a workshop where we put together a customer discovery program for your business. And of course, I'm always happy to talk about better ways of doing training and education and better ways of delivering innovation to customers. So please reach out if you'd like to connect. I want to thank you for your attention, and thank you, MEDB, for bringing this TechOhana community together again. Mahalo.